Hello, Stampers and Crafters. This is Kevon from ktstamps.com, creating cards for you. I am really sorry. Yesterday, I had a really hard workout with my physical therapist, and I did not get Throw the Dice Thursday out at all. I have it done, but I was just feeling sick to my stomach. So I'm coming back today just to show you what the projects are. This is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with the paper piercing over the top, textured, sympathy, and neutrals. For the most part, I did all that. We'll see what you guys think. So my first project, and I have to say, as I am aging, turning a little more light on here, as I am aging, I am really finding that I have to have more thank you cards or more sympathy cards than I ever thought I had to have before. And so I am spending a lot more time sending them sympathy cards to friends. So I couldn't have been happier knowing that this was going to be some sympathy. So with that, we're going to get ourselves started on this card. Now, I use the Deckled rectangles, and I use the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So the two smallest ones. This is what I did the sentiment in. This is what I used as a layer. The colors we are using are basic black, basic white, and smoky gray, or smoky slate. So those are the colors that we are using today. I'm trying to get just a little more light here, but something is happening. Okay, let me see if I can go up here, because I have all this dark space here. So I'm going to try to move you up just a little bit so I can get some of that dark space out. We are also trying to get rid of just my basic rhinestone jewels, trying to get rid of those, so using those. Both cards today have the layered floral 3D, and this is what it looks like. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I love a good embossing folder, and sometimes you don't know whether to make the card a little bit too bright, not bright enough, exactly what do you want. So sometimes it's good just to have something that just gives you a little texture. And if you look on the card, you can just see there's just a little bit of texture. Then I use my Momento, and I stamped You're in My Thoughts today and this flower. Now, when I do the second card, I did this in Smoky Slate. I really like that a lot better. The stamp sets we are using today are from the Inspiring Snapdragon. We are using So Sorry. And then from Thoughtful Expressions, we are using In My Thoughts and the flower. So those are what we are doing today. Now, you can also go to my blog, and it will have all the dimensions and everything you need to create this card. So I'm just going to burnish the fold, and then I'm just going to start my decorations. Now I'm going to tell you some of the things because I do have some things done. And I really want to make sure that you know how I did them. And I'm trying to get my time down in my videos. Not very good at it, but that's what I am doing when I have everything cut and ready to rock and roll. So, first thing we're going to do is that I just want to show you the difference between the Momento and the basic, and the Smoky Slate. I really like this. It's just a lot softer and kind of says So Sorry instead of something that looks like I did a really bad job when it came to stamping. And sometimes when you're dealing with Momento, it can get a little bit blotchy in there. And I kind of gave it a nice little, probably too hard of a press for the ink that I have on the inside. So I like this because it is a Nest Stark. So I just have my basic black on my white, my basic white, and then I am just going to eyeball where I think the middle is. So this is the inside of the card. Then we are going to take our black and then our white. And I am just using my Stampin' Seal. And I can let you guys know that if you feel that you are always tearing your paper, it's probably because you're doing what I call the brute strength. That's what I was doing first. You just kind of really make sure that you press it as hard as you can and you bring it down. If you just give it a nice, easy little touch and pull like it, you know, like as gentle as possible, it will just go ahead and it'll give you a nice run. So you have lines that are fun. So now I am just going to put this on, and I'm using my glue with this. I like to have my silicone pad underneath because I don't know what it does, but it gives my projects, when I glue them down, just a really nice run with the tape. And I really like that. So I am gluing the embossed section. I'm going to put that on the other side. And I'm just going to add this onto the Smoky Slate. So this is basic black onto the Smoky Slate. And again, I'm just going to give it a rub. Any glue that I have hanging over, I will take my embossing buddy and lightly do a press, and then you may have to bring out your adhesive eraser and take some of that out of the way, the glue. From here, I am adding my dimensionals. Yes, I went with dimensionals on this one instead of my foam adhesive sheets, even though I'm using quite a bit of these. So there we are. And then I'm just going to take all the little backings off of the dimensionals. And then I'm going to try to do a better job centering these than I did on the other one. So as I bring that back, there we go. We have a little bit better of a center than I did on the other one. But you know, I know everybody that I send things to will be so happy that they got a handmade card from me that it really won't matter. So I'm very grateful for that. And then I'm just taking this as a sentiment. So sorry. Putting my dimensionals on the back. And this is going to be popped up enough that I am just going to add these with one in the center. So as I'm peeling this off, I really like all the colors. I love black and white. I think that they are so beautiful. So now I'm just going to go ahead and lift just a little bit so it's sitting more at the bottom third of the card, the sentiment, because I really want them to be able to see how beautiful the flowers are. From here, I'm just going to grab my rhinestones. I'm going to stick them in the middle of my flowers, one on the top of this, and then I'm going to go for one at the bottom. And I'm just going to put it into this bare space. And again, we're creating triangles. Okay, they're not a true triangle, but this is what our cards look like for the first cards. I think they're absolutely beautiful. And again, I like only adding odd numbers of embellishments. So it seems like it really allows your eyes just to travel a little bit more. So that's our first card down. Woo! Now our second card's coming into play. And our second card, again, is also done with a layered floral 3D embossing folder. Now, this you will also have to use the Big Shot with, or excuse me, the Stampin cut and emboss machine. So that's very important that you know that. Again, the same when we cut with the Deckled rectangles. This one then, our card looks like this. So I did just a little more technique to this, and you're going to see some splotches, because you can also take this, and if you just look at where the white is, you can also have a white that you add, but it didn't shine very much. And then I decided to add some Wink Estella with some alcohol in a spray bottle, and then I got that. So it was really a mess. But I wanted to be able to show you what the white flowers look like from the pearl flowers. So one just has a little more of a shine, and the other one has just a little more of a pigment, okay, white type of a look to it. So you can use either the white, and that comes in the craft, or I'm going to use the Pearlized Enamel Effects, and I'm going to use the white. And it just comes out with this really nice, shiny color. I really like it. On the circle where I used the embossing buddy, then I used the Versamark, and then I did gold embossing powder. I did the sentiment from the Wonderful Thoughts, and I'll listen to your silence when words are just too much. Sometimes that's the way that I feel. And then I also used With Sympathy on the inside. The detailed dies, I just used this one. And you can see that I have not cleaned it out very well. So I have to bring in my brush that's somewhere. I think I can't find it right now. And just go ahead and brush the back so I can get those little white dots out. Then this is a retired brass foil sheet, and it just looks like this. And you can see at the bottom where I cut out my 2-inch circles with the circle punch. And this is retired, okay? And then I used the Rhinestone Basic Jewels. And I used the Simply Elegant Trim, the gold. Now, we're going to start putting this together, but I want to show you a couple of things. I put that together. Sorry, I put this together. So I just did some strips of tape from the detailed, what is it? Why am I going brain dead? From the everyday detail. And then I used the Stampin' Seal Plus on it because this is a different surface and I wanted to make sure that it stayed. So either your Tombow glue would work. You can give some dimensions to it by dimensionals, or you need to use just a little bit of a stronger tape on it. Sorry, I forgot I put that together. Sometimes I just kind of get going forward. Now this is just 4 by 5 1/4. And then on my side, again, I got going without thinking. This is my trimmer. I put it at a 1/2 inch to the right side. Got my darker gray, and I just started from the 1/2 and measured all the way down to the 4 3/4, and then I turned it and did the exact same thing over here. All right, just went for a 1/2 inch on the outside and on the inside. And then I have, I want to show you, I have this for next time. So I have the smaller one for next time. Or what I did was that I used this and cut out those circles. So that's how I got to this. And this would be like the inside of it. Okay, and it just saves me some of the paper because it's expensive. And so I just wanted to do something along that line. This ends up being just a piece of basic black, scored in half. This is our basic white. You can tell I do such a good job getting everything lined up properly. I just wrote with deepest sympathy on the exact same thing. All right, so that's how I did it. I'm going to do a couple of things a little bit differently. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it on the black. And again, this is the retired brass. I like the brass. I couldn't find my gold, and some of it I want to save for Christmas. So I just decided to look in my retirement sheets and see what I have in there. So that's what I came up with. And I think it turned out beautifully. So now we are going to bring in our C block. That's what I'm using. And then we have our little, what's this called? Dauber. Forgot that. And we're just going to daub this. So I'm adding some color on the block, and we're going to have to do that a couple of times. You can see it's just not very much. I'm going to take my dauber and just kind of add to it, and then I'm going to brush. I don't have really a light-handed when it comes to brushing. I'm going to brush on the embossed parts of the card. And I will have to ink up again. And this is just a fun, whenever you're dealing with dark paper and embossed images, this is really a great technique to use. And you can really get these images to pop. And I'm sorry, my hands are in the way. But you can see how beautiful they're turning out. If you want to, you can add a little bit more. If you don't want to, then you can just take a little bit off. And this just is, I don't add lots at the very beginning. And this dries on here. I found that I should have put this in a bag because it's pretty hard at the top. And that's probably why it isn't catching the images as much as it could. And so again, all I'm doing is going around to the outside, picking up all our images, giving them just a little bit of color. I really like this. Oh, I just think it is beautiful. And I, of course, am such a little shimmer girl. I like a good shine, dazzle, glitter. Loved glitter when we had glitter. Oh my God. It was one of my favorite times to stamp. It's when we're dealing with the glitter. Did I get them all? And then you'll just clean off your block when you're done. And I can't remember what the name of this technique is, but I like the way that it has turned out. I just think it just adds a little bit of class to what's going on. I mean, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? We got shine all over the place. Okay, so now I'm going to bring back in my silicone pad, get it around the edges. You just don't want it to be thick, but you want it around the edge so then it stays on this super glossy paper. And you don't want to add so much that when you put it down that it will run over the edges. But if you do, you know how to take care of that now. There we go. Now I can tell you also that when I added the dimensional part of the sentiment, I had to put some extra weight on it because it did not stay down very well. So you may want to do that when we get to the dimensionals or to the sentiment part, like now. Okay, I'm not gonna, this one I tied a bow. made these loopy, kind of have these sticking up. I don't like that. So what I am going to do is that I'm going to just wrap it around my fingers. I'm going to just go wide, go around 3 times. And then give it a good cut. And then I am going to, I don't know where my Seal Plus is. I'm just going to put this down in the center. And then just kind of fussy with this. There we go. Now this, you have to be careful because you don't want it to run off the card. So there we go. I kind of got a little idea of where I'm going to position this. And again, I am just going to put 4 dimensionals on here. And I'll probably put 5, one in the middle because I have all that ink in the middle, or all the adhesive in the middle. And I want it to stick to something. All right, so here we go. And I also used just a 1/2 inch piece of brass on the inside because I do like to decorate the inside. So I think that looks beautiful. And then I'm going to just try to get this as straight as I can. And you can see the difference between the two. I really like the way that the looseness of those look like, but you don't use as much with a loopy bow. So I got that. And then I am just going to, I thought about adding gold on here, but you can see that the gold is a little bit brighter than the brass is. You can see it kind of dulls it out over here. So I just wanted to come in with just regular rhinestone basic jewels. And I'm adding 3. So I'm going to put, this is going to be a little bit different, one at the top, one at the bottom, and then I'm going to put one off to the side. So that's a little bit different than what I did last time. So let me get all this out of the way so I can show you my pictures. That's what those two look like, with the lights shining in them. And these are the 2 cards that I also made for the first set of cards. So again, I would hope that anybody would like receiving either one of these cards. And I know that I will be sending them out. So, here we go. We got our blocks. And again, you guys, you don't have to do all 5 of the blocks. You can do 3 of the blocks. You can do 2 of the blocks. You can do 1. Just do something that it inspires you. So, we're going to do bright colors. We're going to add some bling. Love me some bling. We're going to do sponging, masculine, and we're going to add some DSP foil etc. on our cards. And this will be in 2 weeks. Again, I really want to do a big shout out because I did case cards and I cased what they did. And my first card was cased by stampinpretty.com. And my second card was cased from thinkingstamping.com. So those are where I got my ideas. Want to make sure that I do give shout outs because I think that's very important that when you use something from somebody, you case it. Okay, even if you copy and edit, you still got to make sure you give them shout outs. So thank you again for both of those guys. Well, you guys take care. I hope you have a great weekend. Have a great Friday. It's supposed to rain here. So again, my name is Kevon. You can go to www.ktstamps.com, get all the dimensions that you need in these cards. And again, my motto, and I am just going to keep on saying it, and I know it's going to catch on, creating cards for you. So again, please feel free to copy my cards. Just give me a shout out. If you're on Facebook, and you did something just different with the last dice, please show me, let me know. And if you are on YouTube, give me a like, give me a subscribe. I love that. So take care, you guys. Bye-bye.